In today's first solo episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the 5 things I wish I knew before I started my business. Like, you don't have to know them. They're not the be all and end all, but they're just 5 really powerful things of understanding of just, mindset things going into business, but also on just how to operate the business as well. So number 1, you're going to feel lost. And this it's not just people going into business or whatever. It's young people in general. And it's probably just, I don't know. I'm only 23, so I can't speak for people that are 40, 50, 60, but I feel like we're just always going to be genuinely a little bit lost. And because we're always trying new things, and that is actually a good thing. The feeling of imposter syndrome means that you're in a growth phase. You're trying new things. You're doing new things. And I think it's really fucking powerful. I would hate to be in a situation where I'm not feeling uncomfortable. I'm never feeling this imposter syndrome, because that means you're just fucking being comfortable doing the same thing all the time. That's completely boring. And especially as a young male, I encourage other young males and young females, anyone, to step out of their comfort zone, seek growth in any way, shape, or form, and just understand that feeling lost is a part of the process, especially as someone in their low, mid-20s sort of thing. If you're straight out of school, maybe you're straight out of uni, you don't know exactly what you want to do, feeling lost is fucking normal. The amount of people I talk to, they're like, I just don't know what to do, I don't know what to blah, 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 blah. And I get a lot of people, like, because I've been working full-time for a long time, and I can kind of envision what I want to do in the future, they're like, oh, you have it all sorted out. I'm like, trust me, I don't have it all sorted out. Every day I feel fucking lost from an imposter syndrome point of view, but also from I'm starting a business. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing half the time. Like, what am I supposed to do next? How am I supposed to know what to do next? And you just doubt a lot of your decisions as well. And I think understanding that maybe you've done things in the wrong order, but maybe you haven't. You just never know. Like, as long as you're taking the steps forward and you're learning and you're applying growth, understanding feeling lost, that's completely normal. It's going to happen regardless of whether you're starting a business, you're starting a new job, or you're going to study something that you've not studied before, whatever it is, new relationship, maybe you're just having a kid for the first time. Anything that's the first time, you're going to feel lost, but especially in business, because there's just so many avenues to it. So don't beat yourself up if you're feeling lost, because trust me, I've had plenty of days, almost every day, where I'm like, shit, what do I do next? Completely normal. Number 2, you're probably going to feel a little bit lonely. When you're on a growth phase, not everyone is going to go with you. Maybe that doesn't mean they're not growing. A lot of people may not, but they may just be on a different path to you. So especially I've found starting up a business, I don't have a team around me right now. While yes, you hire freelancers or other people to help you do the work, like, most of the time I sit in this room, I sit behind my desk, it's me, myself, and I grinding it out, feeling lost on my own, trying to solve my problems on my own. And that's where the power of the internet and hopefully the conversations I have with you as well will help you, and you can resonate with, in the fact that you might feel a little bit lost and you're going through it alone, but find mentors, not just these conversations that give you comfort in what is kind of normal and what to expect, but in the people that have done so much more than you, or have done roughly what you want to do. Nowadays, a lot of them are posting content on YouTube. A lot of them are posting podcasts on Spotify, whatever it is. So absorb that content, but it also may mean that you do some of their courses, or you go to some of their seminars. Maybe you hire them as a mentor personally. And that's an investment. Like, people are willing to spend 25, 30K on uni, but they're not willing to spend 5K on a mentor or on tools to elevate their business, which just confuses me a little bit. Because if it's really something you want to do, then it would just make sense to do that. And trust me, I've invested in a lot of people to try and, engage and lift my skills to where I think they need to be. And that's a never ending game. It's going to keep happening. But when you're building something, at the first, you'll be lonely. I can guarantee you it's pretty fucking lonely sitting behind a desk years after years, trying to figure things out, editing videos, learning out new software, doing all these sort of things. But as much as it's lonely, it's really exciting, and I wouldn't want it any other way, because when eventually I have an amazing team around me, there's just going to be no better feeling than the fact that this is built from ground zero. So that's exciting. Expect that, and put yourself in a group of like-minded people, because then you might be able to bounce off each other as well. Now, this leads into number 3. Not everyone deserves to hear what you're going to do, what your dreams are, what your goals are, what your visions, because there's a lot of fucking idiots out there, a lot of fuckwits that are going to knock you for your goals and your dreams. Trust me, I've had this before. So if you ever heard someone be like, oh, is that realistic? Or like, do you actually think you can make that happen? They're the sort of people you now learn you don't tell them anything like that again, because they're likely going to knock you. Whether that's just from their just fucking negative Nelly or whether they're just jealous that you're going after it, they probably all tie in together a little bit. But you get the odd person that then, rather than that conversation leading down the negative path, they're actually, oh, fuck yeah, that's so exciting. Like, have you actually tried this? Like these new features, these new tools, these new automations, these new content creation tools, these new ways to market, da 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 da. If someone reacts like that and they instantly either want to give you advice or give you ideas, or even at a bare minimum, just be simply happy for you, keep telling them. Because yeah, look, sometimes people want, oh, well, I want the tough truth. It's like, yeah, but fine, that those people will give you the truth also. If you say, hey, what do you think about this? They'll be like, oh, you could do it this way, or you could do that. They're not just going to say it's shit. They're going to give you constructive criticism rather than just straight up criticism to knock you back down to their level, sort of thing. So be aware of that, because the point I'm telling you this is that you need people around you, but you also need to be careful of the people you have around you, because it can have a massive impact. And I've almost slipped too long. There have been times where a few weeks, maybe even a month or 2 or 3, I've been like in this rut, and I'm like, why am I in this rut? And it's because I've been listening to these people. I've actually let what their opinions of my goals, my dreams, my visions, and what I want to happen get to me, and it's impacted what I'm doing. So far to the fact that this podcast and everything I'm setting up here, I had to just like kind of do it, not really listen. I had a few people saying, oh, it's a waste of money, da 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 da. But this is my passion. This is what I want to do. I want to give back. I want to help. I want to network with lots of cool people and have really awesome conversations. And yeah, it's a little bit selfish because I'm going to get a lot out of it. But I then want to deliver that to you guys as well, and to increase other people's knowledge from these amazing people, whatever industry or field they're in, because you don't just have to get stuff from famous people. Just because someone's not on Instagram doesn't mean they don't know a fuck ton of information that you could really benefit from. So people can be good, they can be bad. Pick the people you have these conversations with extremely wisely, because it can make or break what you do in the future. Number 4, I heard this one from Brad Lee, businessman. I don't even know what business he's done, but he's an absolute beast. I love following him on socials because he's an example of a guy that you absorb that information from and it leads you on the right path. And it talked about when you're building a product or service. So you're kind of left with 3 options, and it all revolves around these. It's time, money, and quality. And so in order, there's kind of this list of what he goes through here. So I'll run you through it. So if it takes a relatively long time, it's fairly cheap, there's a good chance you can still make it high quality because you took a long time. A long time is not 1 month. This is maybe 12 months plus, depending on what the product or the service is, because a lot of this, it's time intensive for you to do. That's why it's cheap, because it's not costing you anything because you're doing it yourself. So that doesn't mean it's shit quality. It just means it's going to take a lot of time. Then you have the second one, which is done quickly, also cheap, likely will be shit quality. So if you want, then, because that then leads into the last one, if you want something done fast, it'll be expensive to get high quality. So you need to pick and choose what you want to do when you're building that product. For me personally, I'm going to be completely open with this. I have taken the takes time path and fairly cheap. That's okay, because I want high quality. I don't have loads of cash to just dump on something compared to someone that maybe has had a successful business in the past and they've got millions laying around or whatever it is. So my risk ratio, I'm PTing at the moment to pay for what I'm working on, but it's making it a lot cheaper, and it's very time intensive still of me to have to do, but I want the high quality. I do not want to sacrifice quality just to get something done quickly. So that's a really good one to pay attention to. And maybe these days this is slightly different because of AI and whatever, but generally to get it all done and package it and to take it to like another level, that's kind of the rules you want to follow there. And number 5, as the famous Alex Hormozy said, if you can wait 90 days for a result, you can win. If you can wait a year, you can win big. If you can wait a decade, you can be the best. If you can wait a lifetime, you can change the world. So simply, this kind of ties back into the other one there. If you could guarantee that in 20 years, you would be a multimillionaire, your business would be successful, and you would have helped hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the world from your product or your service, most people would be like, yeah, I'll take that if it's guaranteed at 20 years. But generally, that's how long it takes to make that big of an impact. There's outliers, things happen a lot quicker, but if you increase your time horizon and you stick with things, you're going to have a much bigger impact and be much more successful. If fucking Michael Jordan played 2 seasons in the NBA, he would not be the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time because he did that for years on end. Not even just because in high school, he didn't make the team and he had this cool story. Not that. Just the fact that he was consistent year in, year out. He did really well. He put in the work. He grinded. He did the repetitive and the boring stuff on repeat for years. That is what makes you the best you can be. And that's why I think we should be looking at things and creating this kind of, even a 50-year vision. I know I went to a Gary Vee seminar not too long ago in Melbourne, and this guy called Phil Nosworthy was talking, and he talked about a client that he had worked with, and this dude had a clothing brand, and he had a 100-year plan, and that's really powerful, and I thought that was really cool to listen to because that plan was going to outlive him because he was building a brand that would sustain into the future. It wasn't some get money quick sort of scheme. He wanted to make an impact and make a brand. And I think you guys should be doing the same. And that's where I'll be really interested to kind of continue this conversation with a lot of other people. But, people make money off, say, drop shipping, whatever it is. But the brands that make the big money and really can continue to grow with the same name, take a Nike, now in the fitness industry, Gymshark or Adidas or, all these big brands, Canon, Sony, they are long-term brands. They don't have 1-year visions and that's it. Yes, they would have 12-month goals, but they want their company to be around for a fucking long time. So, have short-term goals, have medium-term goals, but also think about if being patient and just extending your time horizon for where your goals are and where you lead. Because if you wait a lifetime, as Alex Hormozi said, you can change the world. Thanks for listening. If you got some value out of this, make sure to give us a follow. I'll see you in the future for more solo and guest podcasts. And remember, you're capable of more than you think. So get back to work, and I'll see you in the next one.